You're watching Computer Programming University, and we are live. This is a late night brainstorm session. I am working on some features of the project that I told you about. And as I discussed, talking about not getting stuck into a certain perspective, the tunnel vision, I'm now changing the perspective from one where I'm focused on time to one that I'm focused on the real priority. What do I really want? What am I seeking in life? No, in this project. I want to get the last business day files. That's all I want. I want to see the last business day files so that I can build, or I can plug that right into my comparison module that compares previous day logs with current day logs. So I got a little one-liner with find that is seeming to get me what I need. It's searching for all the folders by date, sorting them numerically, and things like that. But I did some testing. I replicated the directory structure, right? And I did a test to see if it's going to work, and it doesn't seem to be working. So I wanted to review my strategy in a visual manner. So, and I also wanted to share that with you guys. So those of you guys that enjoy this kind of content, you can enjoy it. Others that find it boring, well, you can move on to another video. But I thought I would just share it with you guys. Whoever is interested will watch. Whoever is not interested won't watch, right? So let's get to it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to look at the calendar and create some scenarios that I can test my logic against. So it's kind of visual pseudocode, shall we say. So pseudocode, you just, you put together the theory behind the program. I'm going to take user input, assign to variable, append to log file, whatever it is, right? So anyway, with that in mind, and you guys that are watching right now, click on that like button. I really appreciate it. Comment below, say hi, say anything, any kind of engagement helps the channel. Really appreciate it. What I was thinking about doing is, let's put together some kind of timeline, and we can test certain scenarios based on times. Here's our timeline. All right. And time is kind of wavy, so let's get some wavy lines to make it scientifically accurate. All right, so let's get some days in here. Let's use some actual dates, right? So, and let's deal with the potential issue of the transition from one month to the next, right? Because the structure, just so you guys know, the directory structure is like this. You have I don't know if I should put this here. Yeah, that should be fine. So you have the year 2017, the 2-digit month, 3, right? And then from here, you have a day folder. So today would be the 31st, right? Tomorrow, there's going to be, so previously, this folder, there's a folder that gets created right here at this level. Yesterday, there was a 30. Before that, there was a 29 that was created, right? Tomorrow, however, we can't just put 1. We've got to increment the root, because it's no longer 03. So tomorrow, we're going to have a 07, anyway, an 01. What is wrong with me? That's what you get for doing this stuff late at night. You guys listening in, welcome aboard. Click on that like button, really appreciate it. 2017-01, all right? I did it again, 04, April. Tomorrow's April. April Fools. 01 today. All right. So that's the way it works. So tomorrow is going to be a new folder. So I need to figure out what logic allows me to find last trading date. So here's just to get you guys to understand. The last business day is going to be today because the weekend there's no business, right? So this going forward, well, into Monday will be the answer. So this right here, this 31 is the answer until, so that's Saturday 01, Sunday 02, Monday 03. It's going to be the last business day up until 03, Monday 03. So all these are non-business days, right? And then we have on the 4th, the last business day will be the 3rd, right? On the 5th, it's going to be the 4th, and it's going to keep doing that until the weekend comes. Then you have another gap again. All right. So let's go through the logic of how this would work on a very fundamental level before we get into it. Let's go through the calendar and see what our answers are. Okay, answers would be on the 29th. The answer will be the 28th, previous trading day. I don't think I need to put the days. Right? I should put the days. I don't know if that matters. Let's go Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, right? Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all right? And then we have Tuesday. All right, so on Thursday, last business day, the 29th, right? Now, rather than just do that, let's look at what the answer would be, because what we're looking for is we want the location of the log. So the answer would not just be the previous day. The answer would be a directory, right? So the year month would not change in this span, right? So we can just say same thing. Yeah, this is all the same. So same thing, same thing, same thing, right? So what changes is here, right? So, okay. First of all, understand. Let's make this a little more visual. So let's understand. Directory. This 2017-03 has all the days of March, right? All the days of March are subfolders of this 2017-03, right? So in the 2017-03 folder, it contains all of these, right? So what does that mean? In order for me to find 29, so on the 30th, how do I find the previous business day? I would perhaps check this folder, start with the folder for today's file. So let me make a note of that. Let's do that. So let's start with, make sure you guys can see. You guys can't see anyway. Whatever, I'll make my notes here. Start, so we're making pseudocode basically. Start in today folder. Okay, we start in today's folder. So that's going to be, basically today's folder is going to be the year, month. Every day folder will be in a year, month. The year, month folders contain the days. So every single day in a year, month folder, right? So every time you run this, you should start with the current year month folder. So on the 29th, check 2017-03/29. Logically, what do you need to do? I would need to do some math, take the current day. Do I need to do math? I don't necessarily need to do math. There's two ways to do this. I can subtract 1 from today's date and go to 28. Or I can sort the folder numerically. And I can, there's different ways to approach this, but I can probably shift up 1 from 29. So sort the folder numerically, and then I can target the line above 29. Probably set, I can use set to probably do that. So I have a list of all these days in numerical order, right? And then I can say, go to 1 above the 29th, so give me the 28th. What I'm going to do is let's flow through with that strategy and see how that works. So if you try to do this on the 1st of April, and this is a key part of potential challenges or issues, is transitions from one month to the next, because numerically things get a little bit complicated, right? When you're in the same month, you're just going 1 down. Today's day minus 1. Today's day minus 1. Today's day minus 1. You can sort them numerically, and you can forget about the math and just say, find the line with the day for today's day, and then give me the smaller value, the one above it. Easy. Problem is here, 01. Subtract 1 from 01, and you're going to be crying. That's probably not what you want. Unless you add an exception in your code. Let's put this idea on the board. So if, let's do our pseudocode, if, I know you can't see this, doesn't matter, you can hear my voice, can you hear the words coming out of my mouth? Yes, you can, and you're good to go. Click on that like button, really appreciate it, and say hi in the comment section. I'll take a look at comments in a second. All right, if day equals 1, if day equals 1, we need to do something different, right? That's our complication. We can't use the standard strategy when the day is 1. You can't subtract 1. Different if you see 1, right? So you got to look at what are all your potential answers or scenarios, right? You can only have 31 days in a month. So the previous day after the 1st is either going to be the 31st or the 30th. I don't think there's any 29-day month. But figure out what are we looking for? What are the minimum amount of days for every month? The minimum potential amount of days to the maximum. I don't think there's any 29-day month. Let's take a look at a calendar and see. I don't think there's a 29-day month. You guys in the chat, maybe you can comment and let me know if there's a 29-day month. I really doubt it, but let's pull up the chat, see what you guys are saying. Who's listening in? Say hello. Click on the like button. Really appreciate it. All right, so let's pull up a calendar. Let's see, calendar. calendar, 1 month. No, I want a year calendar. I don't know why I did 1 month. We want to see the entire year. I could just Google this. This is kind of silly that I'm looking at the calendar. I could probably just Google it and probably tell me what the answer is. Let's stop being silly. What is it's 2017. What's the shortest month? February, 28 days. The month has 28 days in common years and 29 days in leap years. Okay, so the least amount of days that we're ever going to see is going to be 28 days. All right? So if day equals 1, then we can check if exists 31. Look for a 31 folder. Well, first of all, I missed a step. There's 2 things. If the day folder equals 1, that means it's the first of the month, which means you know already, guaranteed, that you have to get out of this month-year folder. The month-year folder, whenever the day is 1, is going to be the wrong folder. There's nothing in there for you. That only will have, on the first of the month, this folder will only have the logs for today. So if you're looking for previous date, obviously, your first thing you need to do is get out of this folder and go back. Now, the good thing about this is, oh wow, changing of the years. That's another thing you have to see. You got to extrapolate. I was just thinking, what happens when you change years? There's going to be a 2017 12, the last month of the year, to 2018 01. So probably going forward, I'm going to have to address transitioning into future years. But the first thing is to get a fundamental strategy working before we start looking forward into year changes. Right now, we need to tackle just month changes. Let's get that done first, right? So again, whenever the date is 1, right away, you need to get out of this month year folder. So in this case, on April 1st, we need to get out of here and somehow find this folder. Now, if we forget about year changes, because that's why I thought about that, because if it's the first month, if it's January, it's 12, right? Now, every other month we can subtract 1. That will generally work, but transition of years will be a problem. So let's put that outside of our mind and just deal with what we have here, which is, for now, we can simply subtract the month. Subtract 1 from the month. So right away, anytime you see date is 1, subtract 1 from the month. So that would mean, and you can actually use this as a number, even though it's really not. You can use this as, I would say, we put some commas in here, 201, let's say this is 20,000. I don't know if that really makes any sense to do that. That may not make any sense to look at it that way. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 20, 1, 2, 3, 201,704. 201,704 minus 1. And that will be the folder, that will be the month year folder that we want. So if we subtract 1 from 201,704, we're going to get 270,000. Sorry, 201,703, and that'll be this folder. So the answer will be correct. If we are in May, it'll work. If we're in June, it'll work. We're in July, it'll work. So most months of the year, we can simply subtract 1 from this value. So first thing, if statement, if the day equals 1, here, it's the first if is get out of that folder. If day equals 1, then, I mean, you have to figure out how you're gonna get this as a number to subtract it, but this is pseudocode, we don't need to get into those kind of details. If day equals 01, then subtract 1 from, and I'll just do year, month, month. Subtract subtract 1 from year, month, month. And that's going to be your year, month folder location, right? So automatically, boom, we've solved the first issue. So for every first of the month, for most of them anyway, we're going to subtract 1 from this number, and that's going to put us in the correct folder. That should work every time except when we're dealing with year changes. All right? So the next thing is, now that we put that in the code, right? To the 2017-03 folder. In that folder, we have the 31st, the 30th, the 29th, the 28th. We got all these days in there. Now we can sort. It's just a folder with numbers. It's a folder with a bunch of numbered folders, right? Numbered subfolders. So sort. You can simply easily list out all these numbers, list the subfolders in the directory, and then you can sort them numerically. And all you want to do is get the highest value, right? It's a month with 31 days, you're going to get 31. A month with 30 days, you're going to get 30. A month with 29 days, you're going to get 29. So you can easily figure out the most recent day in that folder. Now, here is something to add an extra complexity here. We don't just want the most recent day in that folder. Remember, the goal was we want the last business day, right? How do we determine what's a business day? I didn't tell you guys that. Business day is a subfolder of the dates. So if you go beyond the dates, because for every day folder is where you have all your logs, right? And there's different logs for different systems. Now, when it's not a business day, certain subfolders aren't created. So I've chosen a folder that I want to look for, and on these days, Saturday and Sunday, that folder will not exist. So I need to do a simple if exists. So what I would do is I would sort these numerically, get the highest value there, create the folder. You subtract 1 from today's folder to get there. And then you get the highest number here. Then you add a subdirectory and the certain log directory I'm looking for and test it. Does it exist? This number, -1, / the highest number in this folder, / your log directory. Then you do your comparison with this log versus the log from the current day. If not exists, then subtract 1 from the highest number. Go to the 30th. Then you can go ahead and do your comparison. If not, or else, go and subtract 1. And then you keep going down day after day after day until you find a folder with the previous year, month, and a subdirectory. We don't care what this number is, and it has a subdirectory of a log directory there. These numbers, is there a log directory on the 31st? No. Is there one on the 30th? No. Is there one on the 29th? Yes. Okay. This is the previous business day, 29th. Use that logic. Let's test the logic. So what happens on Sunday? Sunday is the first day where the previous day wasn't a business day. So on Sunday, it's going to be the same 2017-04 folder, right? That's where the current log will be. On Sunday, there will be a folder called 2017-04. That folder will be created tomorrow. It's going to have a subdirectory 02 for the 2nd of April. All right? So let's start. The first logic, if day equals 1, and actually, why did I do if day equals 1? Oh, I was saying because of the numbers going in reverse. They're incrementing, but here it's going to jump up. So 1 from this is what I was getting at. So if day equals 1, well, that's for the month transition. You know what? Let's test it. Let's follow through and let's test it on the day equals 1. Okay? So because here's where we have the problem, because this is a new folder that's created. We need to be able to go to this other folder. So let's use our logic. We create the logic. Let's use it and see if it actually works, right? If day equals 1, then subtract 1 from this. So subtract 1 from 201,704. You get 217,000. 201,703 folder. Okay, boom. Next thing. If day equals 1, then I don't think I need another if. Once we establish that, we can quickly get to this folder. And that's the big thing. Get into this folder. Once we're here, it's easy. Getting out of that root for the previous month, year folder. Second if then. We need another thing to add to our existing then. There's more things to do. And then subtract 1 from that. Boom. Okay? And then you can assign that to a variable. That's your year and month. Okay? The next thing that we need to do, subtract 1 from that. And then the next thing we need to do is find, I'll speak plain English, find highest value. All these folders are numbers. Find the highest value. I'm going to use some SQL terminology. So find max day. All right. So using that logic, we go from 201,704 to 201,703. Of this folder, highest number is 31st. Right. This is tomorrow we're doing this. Right. 31st is the highest number. All right. Now check in this folder to see if it has a log. Now, of course, today was a business day, so there will be 1. So your code worked successfully. And jump to, once you do that, then compare logs. You've found what we're looking for. Success! Kapla! So, all right, so let's move on. So that worked. April 1st, we succeeded. What happens on April 2nd? April 2nd. So April 2nd, day is not equal to 1, so this logic here would not follow. So we need another if statement for this one. Actually, we don't. Again, that logic was because of the transition of months, right? So there's no transition of months. So from the first of the month until the end of the month, all the stuff is going to be the same year, month folder, right? So we don't need this. This is just to deal with transition from one month to the next. We have transitioned on the first. On the second, there's no need to transition. Now it should be easy. It should be, so we're not touching the root folder. So now it's easy. If it's not one, it's easy. All we're doing already in the root folder where we need to be. So now we're just looking, like remember here, we have to establish how to get to the next folder, and then we can sort numerically, right? Here, the current year, month folder is where we need to be, and that's where we are already. So all we need to do is look at numerically what's the highest value. So let's follow that logic. To add that logic. So the first if statement was a success for transition of months. Now the next if statements are, let's see, if statement. This is oh, I guess this could be an else, right? Because we need conditional behavior. We have the first of the month, we need to do one thing, else do something else. So let's not have another if. We don't need another if, we need an else. So if that, what's our else? Our else is we don't need to like test anything. We'll just say if that's not the case, then what are we going to do? We don't need to worry about this folder. We're already where we need to be. So now we can jump to the second step that we did here. We can do the exact same thing. First thing here, we got from this folder to the next folder, and then we sorted numerically. Here, we're already here to the same thing we did before, sort numerically. So let's test it out. On the 2nd of April, what's the biggest number? Oh, so that's a problem. The biggest number will be current date. The biggest number will be current date. I think the biggest number only applies when you're going to a previous month, because you're going to a month that you have passed. You left that month already, right? So whenever you go to a previous month, you always want to get the max day, because max day equals the last day of the month, right? But if you're not going to a previous month, the whole numerical thing that doesn't apply anymore. Now you can do simple math. You take the current year month folder, right? And you subtract the current value for day. Subtract 1 from the current value for day. So else, let's just say subtract. Else subtract. Else subtract 1 from day. I know you guys can't see this, but you guys can hear it. Let me take a look in the chat. See who's listening in. Click on that like button. I really appreciate it. It's late. I should be home. So, else subtract 1 from day. So let's follow that logic, right? So we don't care about the root folder. We're just going to jump right to the day folder. It equals 02. 1 from 02 gives you 01. What do you know? That is the previous day. But is it the previous business day? All we need to do is subtract 1. So I guess the first step is we need to find the location that we want to search, right? So now I'm thinking further now. Find the location you want to search. That's what we did before. We figured from this folder to getting to the last month folder, right? And then we need to figure out which day to check for the log folder, right? So that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to find which search for a folder, right? So we don't mess with this. We just subtract 1. That takes us to this folder, 2017-04/01. Now that we have the path, we can assign it to a variable, and we can check for log subdirectory. If exists, log directory, do our comparison. No business, no log directory, so that test is going to fail. So else subtract 1 from day, then subtract 1 from day, else then subtract 1 from day, if exists log folder. Okay, if exists log folder. When we got the if exists log folder, we can do our comparison. So if exists log folder, compare. All right. Now here we're not going to find it. So what do we do now? Now we need to do our month transition again because. So now I'll need to add the month transition into the logic. So that means. Okay, that's interesting. So even if the current day is not the first, we still may need to do a transition because, like, for example, the second, the date that we're looking for is, or the path is in a previous month year. So I will need to, in my loop or logic where we're doing if this, if that, like we're checking and checking and checking and checking and checking, we're checking this, not there, check this, not there. We need to put a logic for if you find an O1. Well, not if you find an O1, but after you check an O1, what should you do? So after you check an O1, you should do the same logic we said before. Subtract 1 from this number, that's going to get you the previous root. Look for the maximum number, and then check for the log directory. Right? you keep subtracting 1 from the day. So that's the thing. The main logic is keep subtracting 1 from the day until the day equals 1. Whenever the day equals 1, I apologize. And then whenever the day equals 1, you're going to subtract 1 from this part of it. Look for the highest number, and then continue. Subtract 1, subtract 1, subtract 1. Day equals 1. Subtract 1 from here. Get you to the previous month folder. Find the highest number over here. Check for the log directory. Check for the log directory. Check for the log directory. So I think that works. I really think that works. I mean, we've got to figure out how exactly we put this into the code. But I think we have a fundamental strategy that works, at least as far as month transitions and day-to-day checking for the logs. I'm too tired to probably write the code tonight. I would love to, but it is the weekend. I'll have plenty of time. I am going to be having some fun. I know you guys think this guy is all he does is code, working. Got some fun stuff planned for tomorrow, but I'm probably gonna code on the way home during my commute, like I coded on the way in. Morning, I probably be doing some coding. While I'm traveling out to my fun destination, I will probably do some coding as well. Have some fun, relax, and then I'll code on the way back if I have energy for it. And then maybe some coding on Sunday. So maybe I'll get this done tomorrow morning when I'm fresh, but not tonight. Not tonight. I think, as a matter of fact, I think this is valuable time that I spent with you guys. Hopefully, this was educational for you. It certainly helped me in terms of figuring out my mind around how I want to approach this. But I really think this is going to work. Now, after breaking this down and going through, and you see, I want you guys to realize some of the stuff that we did here, and this is stuff that can help you with your design, issues. The fact that I visualize what's going to happen. What if it's this day? Where is the last business day? And how would I find it? I mean, one of the things we did also is we came up with a strategy of how we can figure this out. And then we tested it using this timeline where I can actually give myself real-time scenarios. If the day is this, will my logic work? If the day is this, will my logic work? So basically, what happens on the 3rd? What happens on this day? What happens on that day? What happens on this day? And because I went through this exercise, we're able to pick up some problems, year transitions. But I think once I get this going, I can figure that out. But I think the important thing is, rather than just sitting there just trying to code and you're getting frustrated, visualize. Look at what it is you're trying to achieve, so you can see it in front of you and then sort of figure things out. And then you can also try different strategies in terms of how to figure out. That's the next thing. Because of doing this, I've actually considered that this may not be the best way. This, I think, we have will work, but I think that there are other strategies that I don't know. I feel like this is more complicated than it needs to be. Now, I need to get on the computer. That's probably how I'm going to finish my day. I'm going to get on the computer and look at the actual folders and everything, and I'm going to again look at this. There's got to be. I just feel something tells me that there is a trick to this. There's something that I can cheat. Somehow I can cheat. I mean, I just want to know the last business day. There's probably something in a log somewhere, or I don't know. For all I know, maybe there's there's got to be something. I'm telling you, I could probably bypass all of this. If there's something in the system, some log or something that already indicates the last trading day. That's what I want to think. That's what I told you guys before. You got to get outside the box. Because this whole thing is complicated, and it's like, what if it's this day and that day and month transitions and year transitions? But for all we know, some may already have the answers. What if there is a business day calendar already in the system, some kind of a CSV file that we can simply read? You can simply go into the CSV file and just go through all the business days rather than going numerically or whatever. Maybe it has all the business days listed, or maybe we can create one. Actually create our own, calendar. It's got to be a calendar or something that has and you can use that as a source. So forget about all this nonsense. You already know what all the business days are. Let me show you how that logic works. So if you have instead of this guessing and all this kind of stuff, if you already know the days. So let's say you have a calendar that says 29, 30, 31, and then it jumps right to 3, right? 03, 04, those are the days, those are the work days. Then it's easy, right? So if today's 04, then you know previous business day is 03. Then you know previous business day is 31, right? If you know it's, you know what I mean? Like you can simply figure this stuff out easily because you know all the business. You already know the answer. Start with the answer rather than trying to figure out the answer. Right now we're trying to guess, like what's the last business day, right? But if you already know, it's just a matter of going back one. The same way that we would do as workers, we know, right? Tomorrow I'm going to know the last business day was it was Friday, right? Sunday I'm going to know the last business day was Friday. I know the same how I know. I don't have to go and figure out, I'm going to subtract one from whatever, because I know the work schedule. I know the work days. I know which days I work and which days I don't work. That knowledge, then we can eliminate all of this. Although this is a nice educational exercise, it's good to go through this kind of a thought experiment. If I figure out some slick way to avoid all this kind of stuff, I'll be happy. But I won't be disappointed that I spent the time figuring all this stuff out, because I'm learning a lot of stuff from trying to figure this out, because I'm trying different strategies, different solutions, and through doing that, I'm learning. So, you know, I'm always, I would love to learn more, right? The more you learn, the better you can be. So, with that being said, I'm going to go and take a look at the actual directory structure and see, you know, what I see in terms of, I'm going to try to see if there's a way I can cheat. I think there's a way I can cheat, man. I don't think I need to do this. There's got to be an easier way. There's got to be an easier way. That's what it should always be. When you're designing your programs, try not to make things more complicated than it need to be, right? Focus on what the objectives are. Think, strategize. What are the different ways? This is like a great way, but is there another way? Okay, that seems like an even better way, but is there something even better than that? Obviously, at some point in time, you got to decide on what your approach you're gonna take. You can't just sit there forever. But like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and then you just stick on that. Spend some good time in the design phase. Strategies. If you're working on a team, have your team come up with different ideas. Submit, and pick the 3 best ideas, and then decide with that, like which is the best approach. Don't just think, this is how we're gonna do it, and then you spend the whole time figuring out how to make that actually happen. Give yourself options so you can pick the best option, right? Kind of excited. I think I'm gonna be smiling. I think I can find this out, man. It's got to be. I might be disappointed, but we'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. This is Computer Programming University. Where learning should always be fun. I hope you enjoyed this, and everyone who watched this, please click on the like button, comment. Well, until the next episode, and you guys take my online courses. You can learn a lot more than you can from these YouTube videos. My top course right now is my SQL course. People are absolutely loving it. Some woman just wrote me today, and she's like, "Thank you for explaining this in a way that even I can understand." It's a great feeling when I get emails like that, and I get them all the time. All right, guys. Have a great night, great weekend, and let me wrap up my tonight and get on the road. All right, guys. Good night.